David Cameron and Ed Miliband have clashed over the UK's jobs record as the last figures before the election showed unemployment continuing to fall. The Prime Minister said his government had overseen a jobs miracle, with the UK creating more jobs since 2010 than the rest of the EU combined. But the Labour leader said too many of these were low-paid and low-skilled. The number of jobless people dropped by 76,000 to 1.84 million in the 3 months to February, a 7-year low. The economy has moved centre stage again in the aftermath of Thursday's TV election debate, in which Mr Miliband and 4 other party leaders clashed over the deficit, immigration, health, and defence, but in which Mr Cameron did not take part. Labour launches its Scottish manifesto, with new guarantees for the long-term unemployed. Thursday's BBC debate was watched by an audience of 4.3 million, according to overnight figures. Ed Miliband insisted Labour will never join a coalition with SNP after coming under renewed Tory pressure. Both the Conservatives and UKIP launch their Welsh manifestos. The Ulster Unionists launched their manifesto, after the Northern Ireland parties held their first TV debate. Almost a quarter of British Asians have yet to decide how to vote, research suggests. Full employment. The number of people claiming job seekers allowance in March fell by 20,700 to 772,400, the Office for National Statistics said. Separate figures showed that average earnings rose 1.7% over the same period, down from 1.9% over the previous 3 months. Mr Cameron said the UK had created 2 million jobs since he came to power in May 2010 and was the jobs factory of Europe. "We are living through a jobs miracle brought to you by a Conservative government," he said. "Every new job," he said, "was giving families security, putting food on tables and helping people out of poverty. I really believe we are on the cusp of something special in our country, full employment, a job for everyone who wants one. If we stick to the plan, we can reach it," he said, claiming that Labour would put that at risk. The Conservatives have also seized on remarks by International Monetary Fund head Christine Lagarde praising the strength of the UK recovery compared with the rest of the European Union. Speaking in Washington at the organization's spring conference, also attended by Chancellor George Osborne, Ms Lagarde said the UK's strategy was delivering results, and compared to the growth rates of other EU countries it's obvious what's happening in the UK has worked. But the GMB union said most of the new jobs in the economy are low-skilled, low-paid, and 0 hours, while the TUC said workers have just been through the longest period of falling real wages since Queen Victoria was on the throne. Momentum. And launching his party's youth manifesto, which would ban unpaid internships or work experience after more than 4 weeks, Mr Miliband said too often jobs in our country are low-paid, low-skilled, and insecure. It is not just about 0 hours contracts. It is about the way our economy works generally. The promise of Britain is that the next generation should do better than the last, a promise that for this generation has been broken under this government, he said. Young people have done badly, with growing debt, an insecure job and owning a home a distant dream. Mr Miliband said Labour's was the campaign with momentum and, challenging David Cameron again to a head-to-head debate before May 7, said the Tories did not represent working people and that their policies benefited the richest in society. Labour also seized on comments by Conservative Minister Ian Duncan-Smith that 0 hours contracts should be renamed as flexible contracts, saying it showed how completely out of touch David Cameron's Tories are with the lives of working people. For the Liberal Democrats, Chief Secretary to the Treasury Danny Alexander said the unemployment figures demonstrated what his party can bring to government. Britain is the job creation powerhouse of the Western economies, he said. With record numbers of people in work and the highest employment rate ever, people can see the difference Lib Dems have made in government. The balance, common sense, fairness, and financial discipline praised by the IMF today are the things we have brought to government. Debate fallout. Both the Conservatives and Labour are under growing pressure to explain what they will do if they fail to win enough seats to govern on their own and whether they would be willing to do deals with other parties. Both insist they can win outright, but neither have ruled out coalitions of some kind or a looser arrangement, known as a confidence and supply agreement, where they could rely on the backing of other parties to get their legislation through Parliament. During Thursday's debate, Mr Miliband rejected an offer from SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon to work together to keep the Conservatives out of power, insisting again that he would not agree a formal coalition with them. Opinion polls have suggested the SNP is on course to win a swathe of seats in Scotland and to be in a powerful position in the event of an inconclusive result, but the Conservatives have said any arrangement involving them would be a calamity for the UK.